Few things in the sky are as iconic as Emirates First Class on the Airbus A380, even though other airlines offer more spacious and more modern seats today. Why is that? Is it the aggressively advertised Caviar service, perhaps the onboard bar, perhaps the onboard shower spa for first-class passengers? It might also have to do with the perfect PR department. A year after my report about the disastrous new business class on Emirates' new Airbus A350, which turned into quite the infamous video, we are now heading to the full-wood shiny upper deck of the A380, and things are about to get serious. We're taking a look at what Emirates offers on the shorter Bangkok-Hong Kong route and whether even on a 2.5-hour flight they can deliver on their first-class promises.
Hello everybody, in way over 1,000 flights in my life, Emirates is the airline that I've flown the most internationally, and today we're not just going on some Emirates flight but on the pretty iconic Fifth Freedom flight from Bangkok to Hong Kong. We're going on the Airbus A380 in first class, and of course we're gonna talk about what is a Fifth Freedom flight and how we, the customers, the passengers, can profit from a Fifth Freedom flight. And of course we're gonna take a closer look at what this first class service has to offer from Bangkok to Hong Kong.
Welcome to the Plane Insider. I'm Chris from Travel Think Fly. Here you'll explore the world's airlines up close, from economy to business and first class, filmed live on board, authentic and full of detail. You'll also discover stunning destinations across all continents and learn how to make premium travel possible through miles, points and insider know-how built over 25 years of experience. Honest, inspiring and entertaining. It's your inside view into aviation and travel. This is the Plane Insider by Travel Think Fly. Subscribe now and let's fly.
I'm here in the taxi to Bangkok Suvarnabhumi airport, and that is not so normal when you go on an Emirates flight in business or first class, because if you pay a higher business class or first class fare by cash, you're also entitled to a chauffeur service to and from the airport. However, on this short flight between Bangkok and Hong Kong, that's not part of the ticket. I guess the route is just a little too short and a little too cheap, so you have to get to and from the airport yourself. And also, if you have a miles ticket, an award ticket, you're also not eligible for a chauffeur service, even in first class not. So then you also have to get to and from the airport by yourself.
Of course, Emirates has its own first-class check-in in Bangkok, but be warned, unlike most European airlines with their 3x32 kilograms baggage allowance, Emirates, like many other Asian airlines, only allows a total of 50 kilograms in first class. My reliable travel companion was once again the wonderful luggage of my sponsor Level 8, which often surpasses the famous and expensive brands I've used throughout my travels. For this XL trip, I chose the XL suitcase from Level 8's Voyager series, which can really hold bulky items and roll silently and effortlessly on its smooth wheels. Also, thanks to its smart handles, the Voyager suitcases don't cause any back problems when lifting them into a trunk. In addition, there's my robust Atlas backpack, which still looks like new after a year of rough handling and can easily handle 14 kilograms. Level 8's carry-ons also make a great impression, not just the real eye-catcher of the Voyager series, but also, for example, the elegant Gibraltar aluminum suitcase with a superbly finished interior. If you're interested, check out the video description. There you'll find a link and an exclusive discount code for channel viewers that gets you all Level 8 accessories and luggage at an exclusive discount. Have fun shopping and then enjoy some truly great luggage.
If you're flying Emirates out of Bangkok, you get the chance to see the brand new satellite terminal of Bangkok Suvarnabhumi airport. Really incredible. Here I'm on the floor just above the regular passenger area, and that's the floor for the lounges. And this is also very new. Nothing is here yet except for one place, and that is of course the as brand new Emirates Lounge. So let's go there now. This lounge had its grand opening in January 2025 and it's very big. You can see first of all, it has a very nice view all over the plains, but then it's also very big because, of course, Emirates has a lot of premium passengers every day out of Bangkok. One flight per day to Hong Kong and then several flights per day to Dubai. And Emirates also has all those Airbus A380s that have mostly only business class and first class on the upper deck with a lot of passengers and seats. So they all need to have a space here in this lounge, and they do, because it's really very big. Very nice buffet here, and very nice selection of food, cold buffet, warm buffet, Arabic food, international food. Then they have champagne, they have Moët Chandon Impérial Brut as champagne, and also Mumm, and some other nice white and red wines actually. And it's quite a nice selection actually, especially for a lounge that is also open for status passengers, because if you have a gold status of Emirates Skywards, you're also eligible to come in here. Then the shower rooms are quite special in this new lounge because it's all one, let's say, wet area. You have a corner for ablution just to wash your feet, and then you have a few standing toilets, so that's the pissoirs for the men. I can only talk about the men's section, of course. And then opposite the pissoirs, you have the showers. And that's so funny because they don't have their private toilet, but there's just shower room, and once you open the door, you see the pissoir. That's the first thing. So, I mean, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is you don't want you to pee into the shower. Oh my God, I just said it. But that's actually the only idea I had when I saw this. Very, very funny. Now the Airbus A380 that will bring us to Hong Kong just landed. That means we're going to go to the gate very soon. The very special thing about Emirates First Class is that not only on long haul, but also on quite short flights like this one from Bangkok to Hong Kong, they do quite a lot of their very big first class service. That means they have, for example, their signature Caviar service even on such a short flight, which is not absolutely normal because, for example, Singapore Airlines, super renowned first class, they don't offer caviar service even on a 5-hour flight to India. They don't have that. Of course, they have the beautiful double beds, so that's something very special on the A380s. Then also Cathay Pacific, they also don't offer caviar service, for example, between Beijing and Hong Kong, a similarly long distance like we have today from Bangkok to Hong Kong, but Emirates, they do. And also they have the regular champagne, Dom Pérignon champagne, that they also offer on the long-haul flights. So that's really quite special. And of course they have the showers, the onboard shower spa. And I'm just curious now if we can try the spa even on such a short flight. I will give it a try. I will try. And anyway, I think now it's time. So let's go to the gate. So there's in fact the Qatar A380 just next to the Emirates A380 over there, and behind that is the 777, Boeing 777 of Emirates that goes to Dubai actually at the same time.
Your seat's on the first left over here.
Thank you very much.
My colleague will show you a seat shortly. Yeah?
That's okay.
You're welcome.
Yes, of course.
So here's Mr. Midi.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Looking after your safety primarily, then you're covering the cabin. Purser Triana, and she's avian assistant today by 23.
إلى أماكن وإبقاء ستارة النافذة مفتوحة وإعادة المقعد إلى الوضع المستقيم تماما.
And here we are on board the Airbus A380 and almost about to take off. The time after boarding was just phenomenal, and that is really what I remember from my last first class flight on Emirates. It's very special because service is very friendly. And then they have very nice champagne just before takeoff already, the Dom Pérignon champagne. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but of course it's one of the best champagnes out there. Then they have the Arabic coffee service, Arabic coffee that is rather like vitalizing, not so strong, but very nice. And then the dates, and then they have a bag and slippers, and on request they have pajamas and an amenity kit, which is really, really one of the best in the world. And then what is new is the menu here. A very beautiful menu in the form of a magazine. Very well done. It makes so much sense because Emirates has a really not only good catering but extremely good wine expertise. I think they have the best wine expertise of all airlines. I cannot say that about Air France now. I mean, Air France also exists, of course, but they have their own wine cellars in southern France, and they invested about $1 billion in the last years in wine and wine expertise, and I think they have about 6 million bottles over there in the wine cellars, and they have also some wines in there in the wine cellars that are actually just planned to be offered in 10 years from the moment when they buy it. So it's really quite special. I remember also I had the most outstanding wine in my life, in fact, at the Emirates First Class Lounge in Dubai, and it was really, really outstanding. Anyway, now it's time to take off.
Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time for coffee on this flight. You have the opportunity now to buy me some coffee and keep me awake during my long nights editing videos at home. Buy Me a Coffee is your chance to support my work with the amount of a cup of coffee. You can buy me one or more coffees, and you can find the link in the top right of the window and in the video description. It's even easier with a super thank. You can find that directly under the video. I would be very happy because everything here is self-funded and really expensive to produce, and unfortunately tickets for the reports don't grow on trees for me either. Thank you so much for your support.
So we are still climbing to our cruising altitude. That's the perfect moment to have a look at the menu, and this is a very beautiful one now. They really made this very nicely for first class in a magazine style, and they really have something to offer, so it really makes sense that they have it. So they start not only about talking about wines and champagnes and so on, but also about the history of it. And then, of course, they talk about their signature caviar service, and about the dates and about Arabic coffee and all this. So you get some background. So you can really read it in this nice little magazine. Not so little, actually. It's quite big. Then they talk about their cheeses, because they really have very nice cheese boards. Then, of course, there's the menu, and then they talk about the wines, but not only just the wines, but also about the vineyards. And, you know, also on my channel, I have talked about wines and why some wines are special, some wines are not so great. And to give you a little background, and now I see they do that now, and they talk about the vineyards and about the story or history about a certain vineyard. So that's really very nice and very appreciative of what wine is all about. It's not just alcohol. There's very often a century-long history and story behind it, and it's so nice that they appreciate it. Impressive. Right now there's monsoon season in Southeast Asia, so of course there's lots of rain, lots of clouds and lots of turbulences as well. So at the moment the seatbelt signs are on, switched on. I asked if I could have a shower, and I can. The only thing is, of course, there should be no turbulences, but I decided to maybe start with the lunch service first. I've been on Emirates First Class quite a lot already, and I think 3 reports are out on the channel about First Class. The longest was to Toronto, but what is new to me is now the new Caviar service. They have upgraded their Caviar service, and I'm looking forward to trying that, to experiencing it, and I hope there's still time then for the shower too. Since only a few days, there's a very special champagne here on Emirates First Class, even more exclusive than their already very renowned Dom Pérignon 2015 vintage at the moment, and that's their Rosé champagne. Dom Pérignon Rosé champagne from 2009, a very, very good champagne, and also very, very expensive. So here I have the opportunity to try it. It's just really very good. To be honest, I don't really feel this super expensive price, but of course it is a very good champagne.
Here we are on an Emirates A380 with an older cabin. You can see that especially in the details, like this bulky tablet. The newer cabin is identical in dimensions, but the tablet, for example, is slimmer. It works very well in any case, and you can control the seat and the lighting, as well as open and close the suite doors from here. The tablet also allows you to control what is by far the largest entertainment system of any airline, with over 5,000 options. There are not only just countless films from Hollywood classics to world cinema from every continent, but also entire seasons of TV series instead of individual episodes, and an audio library that is second to none. Even 12-tone music and classical avant-garde are available, which you can enjoy with excellent noise-cancelling headphones.
Of course, you can also spend this flight, these 2.5 hours sleeping. Everything is prepared for that. There's a nice pillow, there's a nice mattress, there's also a nice duvet, nice blanket. But of course, I will not do that. I want to show you everything that is possible in 2.5 hours, except for the bed. If you want to see what the bed is like and if it's nice sleeping or not so much, check out my report about the very long-haul flight from Dubai to Toronto. And I slept there about 6 hours out of the 14 hours. Worthwhile watching. Yes, thank you.
All right.
I will make it quite short because I decided to speak not too much in this video, but I mean, I had the chance to be on quite a lot of first class flights already, and also try their caviars, and this is something really special, and it tastes so good, because there's also quite cheap caviars out there and not very cheap ones, and I think this one is a really good one. At least it tastes really very good. So out of a real problem, you have to make a good solution. There's only 25 minutes left to take a shower. So I decided to just skip the mezze. No Arabic mezze today. If you want to see them, have a look at my 3 other first class reports from Emirates. You're going to see the mezze. Instead, I'm going to have some caviar, because it's so much easier for the crew to give me just another amount of caviar, right? That's the only reason, of course. And then we're going to have the shower. Oh, could I have some more babies?
Really, sure.
That's really amazing. Everybody who's been watching my channel knows that this is a very honest channel. Everything is about very honest reactions, and I can only say I'm so grateful and I appreciate so much what kind of service I get here and what kind of catering I get here. It's really, really outstanding, and I have to say that I would prefer this over many other first classes with an amazing seat and so on, because the catering is just outstanding. Many of you might have seen my business class report about the Emirates Airbus 350 in business class. I took one of the very first flights in that cabin, and as opposed to others, I actually did not get invited by Emirates. I flew paid by myself, and therefore I just said what was the truth. And it's not a very good business class because it's really not a great seat to lie there for 10 hours, let's say. But I mean, that is just very honest, and still stand with it. It's not a very good business class cabin in the Airbus A350 of Emirates. But this here is really fantastic. I don't stand for drama or something on a plane. I just want to say what is reality, and this is just fantastic.
Besides its countless excellent wines and champagnes, Emirates also known for a special spirit, Hennessy Paradis, a world-class cognac where a bottle now costs around $1,400 and my glass had been very generously filled. Hennessy Paradis is made from about 100 different eau de vies, some of them up to 130 years old, and when you taste it, it really has very little in common with regular cognac or brandy. What's often mentioned in descriptions is actually true here. You can really taste all those aromas, honey, berries, pepper or cinnamon, and it's incredibly smooth, a real experience. I still couldn't quite finish the amount of alcohol, but instead of emptying the glass and essentially pouring $100 down the drain, my flight attendant returned, and I ended up with some quite expensive liquid in a to-go cup. Okay, the aromas were gone, but the gesture was simply wonderful. There was also some truly wonderful Sauterne and of course the 40-year-old port wine, which is only available in first class on Emirates. To really enjoy all of this properly, 2.5 hours of flying time is of course way too short. I still could choose from a fantastic chocolate box, which by the way is also available in business class, but all too soon that wet towel arrived that announced our approach into Hong Kong. I mentioned at the beginning that this was a fifth freedom flight. This means that the airline did not take off nor land in its home country. Sometimes this can be an advantage, as you might suddenly find yourself on a fantastic long-haul aircraft on routes that are usually served by smaller planes. There are of course many wide-body jets on this route between Bangkok and Hong Kong, but an A380 is still something special.
2.5 hours have passed now. How was this flight? First of all, it was way too short, so that's a big weakness of this flight. Then the crew was really fantastic. I had one crew member responsible for me Altogether, there were maybe 4 crew members responsible for the first class cabin. They were all really outstanding. Then the catering was really fantastic. For a 2.5 hours flight, they really gave you the full first class experience that you would normally get on a long haul flight, including caviar service. You could have 1 serving, maybe 2 servings, maybe even more. And I had 2 servings actually. So, and it was not just really normal caviar, but it was very good caviar, because also there's quality differences. There's also quality levels, I would say. Then they had very good wines. The good wines that they always have on Emirates. They had also the outstanding champagne, Dom Pérignon, also Dom Pérignon Rosé champagne. So really, really fantastic. Then within 2.5 hours, I even managed to have a shower here on board, the onboard shower spa, which is really something very unique that only Etihad and Emirates have. And that was really quite special too. Altogether, a really amazing experience. I think always we live for memories, and I made a really wonderful memory today that I will not forget for my whole lifetime. So I would really recommend, if you can go on this kind of flight, go on it. It's really worthwhile. A total recommendation.
As just mentioned, this flight is particularly interesting despite its relatively short flight time, because you really get to experience the full first class product with all its details, and you pay relatively little for it. The cash price is $900, which is very reasonable for first class, even with a flight time of just 2.5 hours. With Emirates Skywards miles, a first class ticket on this route costs 45,000 miles, but it can be booked by status holders only. Lately it's become hardly worthwhile booking award flights on Emirates Skywards anymore. First of all, because the amount of miles has increased dramatically, and secondly, the surcharges have sometimes reached absurd levels. This Fifth Freedom route was an exception until recently, with only $25 in fees. Since August, however, award tickets in business and first class between Hong Kong and Bangkok now cost $250 instead of $25. Therefore, it's much better to buy a regular business class ticket for just $350 or $450 in the flexible fare and upgrade it with only 16,900 or 11,500 miles. This way you only pay slightly more than the surcharge for award flights and still use very few miles. But be careful, only book a flight where the upgrade option is displayed as available during booking. Then the flexible fare is the best choice here. Thanks to the miles credited for the flight, you ultimately only pay $450 plus 9,750 miles.
And here we've arrived in Hong Kong. What an interesting flight, such a special flight, absolutely recommended to every single one who's watching right now.
There's much more behind each of my videos than meets the eye. Nothing is produced quickly or haphazardly here. That's why this channel is different. Every shot, every edit, every piece of research is done by hand with a lot of time, passion and attention to detail. If you appreciate this, then please subscribe to the channel right now, and if you would like to support me further, leave me a super thank or buy me a coffee or two with a little link on the screen. This will help me continue producing honest, independent airline reports and travel videos. Thank you so much for being part of this, because without you, much of this would not be possible.
And another really nice report would be this one over here. Check it out right away. I'm Chris. Thank you so much for watching.